you're looking at it?
Gotta be the Mounties Esports.
Cool.
What it do? It's your boy Q, and welcome back for another season here at PIEA, powered by the Esports Company. And while we're a couple of weeks away from the Fall Brawl Land of Steel, it's time for us to officially get kicked off for week number 1 of our fall action. We've got some Overwatch here on this beautiful Monday. Of course, wouldn't be nearly as fun if I was covering it all by myself. I've got the homie Cherry J with me. Cherry J, how you feeling, big dog?
I'm looking forward to this. We got a big matchup in store for you. Hollidaysburg taking on CB South. Central Bucks to be this blue side going up against the red side in that Hollidaysburg. Looking like this is going to be a fun old day. Now, Q, first map. We're going to that tried and true, playing on that control. And I'm looking forward to it because we're going to Busan. Now, this is a pretty popular map. A lot of teams like it. A lot of teams will pick this up. And I want to get your thoughts on it. You like this map?
I'm a fan of Busan. I think it is a one of, like you said, the tried and trues. I also always really enjoy starting off our series with a little bit of control because I think it allows for the players to really be able to warm up the gunnies, be able to start working on their communication and stuff, because while it is important to make sure that you're able to obviously get the opening picks and get the frags where you can, it's really important that you're able to stay together, keeping the best control of the point, which I feel like communication will be more important later on in this series. So I'm excited to get down to it here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they got. Along with what you were saying, what's nice about Busan is there's always going to be a winner. No ties are possible. And you're always going to be on that 50-50. No one's got the advantage. Nobody's got that extra bit of power they're going to be bringing on that attacking side. And we'll see what they got in store for us. We can kind of take a little bit of a look towards the composition, seeming as if CB South looking to play a little bit more towards that dive-esque, as they have that ball tracer to combo pretty well with each other. On the opposite side, looking to go for a little bit more towards that just kind of brawlish composition where they got that soldier, they got that Reinhardt looking to play together, and we already see some picks coming out as we're going to be seeing Frenchette looking to go for some healing. Oh, big damage already being seen as we're seeing CB South kind of just falling to the floor, as a lot of players are going to be off the board. Broadside going to be coming back online, but as we see both fire strikes dodging out, we're going to be getting the Quickster in the backline doing a lot of damage. Lola's trying to get away, but the 200 HP is getting melted relatively quickly as Artie's going to be able to secure the kill.
It does look like got caught overextending just a little bit here, and this is kind of what I was talking about, right? It's one thing to find those opening picks the way that we had seen for Hollidaysburg, but once you aren't able to capitalize the point and actually be able to get things going, once you fall on the back end, now all of a sudden it will be full control for CB South. They've pushed forward. Yeah, you've got the Reinhardt and the shield to try and push out of your spawn point, but it's aggressive play here from Central Buck South that is really going to allow them to continue to pile up this lead.
And we look at Artie, especially with the Mercy pocket. They got the Quickster in the back lines, looking like Shaq and Kobe right now, just dominating everyone. And now they're going to be able to gather a 27% lead, going to be able to push that up to around 50 before there's even a chance for that contention. But we'll see whether or not that's going to be coming out soon. The Quickster just playing so aggressively in the opposing team's spawn.
No one sees him. Gonna go for the slam here. Does have the ult available if they want to. Does look like I said we'll be okay with regrouping with the rest of the squad. One thing that I was gonna mention is after you get yourself a team wipe, pushing them back into their spawn, you're guaranteed at least 50%. Now Hollidaysburg still even struggling getting out of these first 2 choke points, and once you lose your tank, the rest of the squishies become so vulnerable. The Quickster pushed up right up against the door. They've got them pinned all the way back.
This is what you really like to see from CB South, and despite the kind of flexibility that's being shown from Hollidaysburg, swapping it to this Ana and this Sombra, we're going to be seeing a nice slam coming on in from the Quickster. Going to seem as if this might be a kill to be converted, but already coming in with the 4K. There's Wrong Long as well to be able to pick up the pulse bomb, shutting them down 85%. Both DPS ult are all that were needed, and that's going to be the point to be converted. No time for the touch. especially with the no swaps coming in. Maybe we'll see the Lucio being able to find something, but it doesn't seem like even that's possible.
Lucio falls quick too, and now it's going to leave it more susceptible for these last few players to fall in succession from there. And with a full team wipe, that overtime Wick will fall. Point number 1 will indeed go in favor of Central Bucks South. They might have been the team that fell first, but once they took control, that point was on lock.
Exactly, a strong round 1 to be found. We did see a little bit of contention at the start where Hollidaysburg was able to kind of show a little bit of that kind of dominance you want to be seeing, especially when you're running such a compulsive composition like what they have in store. But they're going to be making a couple swaps. Broadside going from the Wu Yang over to this Juno. I think that certainly could become a little bit more volatile, especially when being able to support the tank, giving them a little bit more options than what the Wu Yang had. But there is going to be the problem of that self-sufficiency. When you're going up against Ronglong and the Quickster and Artie, who are all playing these super aggressive dive characters, you're going to have to be able to keep yourself alive. And Broadside's playing one of the more squishy supports to be able to make that happen. It's going to take a lot. We're already seeing the speed ring activated, so there's going to be less options to be finding.
Well, we know that they like to play aggressive. Over on that CB South side, Quickster has made the change over the Winston, which makes me think they're going to play even more aggressive in that fashion. This point here is just about collected by CB South as it officially comes across. Quickster making all sorts of havoc here in the back line. Found themselves one, continues to push this squad back. Will now assert themselves forward into the point itself. That bubble will get dropped. They'll be able to isolate the tanks, puts them down, and the team fighting continues to look so impressive here for the Trojans.
Now the Hollidaysburg, they're going to make some adaptations, swapping over to the Reaper, and actually going to be pulling out the Hog as well. So certainly an interesting way to be able to adapt to this game, and I think that it's certainly going to be able to show a little bit more pressure, especially if they go and target the Quickster. One good hook, along with the follow-up from Rockstead, might possibly cause a little bit of a detriment. If they can be able to find them without allowing Braden to get the resurrection, it could become a real tight end for CB South to be playing. We'll see whether or not that's the case. A big hook already coming out. Clen's going to be traded, and now 50% gets reached.
Not quite going to be able to find the pick off of that. Also want to correct myself. The Titans from CB South, not the Trojans. Doing a great job of locking things down here on the second point. Already up to that 60%. We had seen some opening damage that had come across from the side of Hollidaysburg area, but they had not been able to capitalize. Instead, falling back, regrouping. The Titans wiping another team fight, and they're already 3/4 of the way to a second point.
I think they might also be Trojans. I mean, their logo looks like it's a Trojan. They have that like thing on the top. Well, yeah, they are the Titans, but I mean, you could call them either one, I'd imagine. But you know what you can't call them? You can't call them losers just yet. We see the overclock getting popped. Artie finds one, continuing their domination. Oh my God, Q! Artie unable to be stopped, dominating the battlefield, looking like a force of nature, securing a absolutely dominant lead to be able to secure game number 1, going in phenomenal fashion. Week 1 seeming like a unstoppable force.
Artie absolutely popping off to be able to secure the back end of that second point. It looked like complete domination. You know, on that first point of the map, we're watching, and it did kind of feel like Hollidaysburg area points were like just very like close to being able to find the answers. There on the second point, it was Central Bucks South map, and Hollidaysburg area just happened to be playing on it.
We take a look, Artie with that play of the game, making the overclock, looking dominant while doing so. Certainly a player you can't take lightly on the battlefield or off, as when you're going to be seeing them lurking around these corners with that mercy pocket from Dylan, it's just going to be something that you really can't take any precautions with. You got to make sure you're playing as aggressive. Shutting down that Sojourn is a must, as if you don't, they're going to be able to close you down, find success, find the map, And now we'll see what Hollidaysburg will opt in for. Now, our second map of the day is going to be going over towards Escort. So it's going to be a map that's going to have a little bit more of a time bank queue. But the problem is, will they be able to find those checkpoints? As it's definitely a little bit more difficult than a hybrid in the terms of being able to really get that point moving.
Yeah, I'm also going to be interested to see now that we go to more your traditional sort of playlist here. What if the play style and game plan for CB South remains the same? We saw them playing really aggressive and pushing towards the back line. Do they feel comfortable doing that on the defensive side when they can be punished so much more in a playlist like Escort? So only that will be time to tell. But we got to figure out as far as where we're going, and also got to figure out sides and everything. So, and also we didn't really talk about the top of things here. We've changed things up a little bit this season in PIEA. We also have hero bans as well. So part of the reason we didn't see Junkrat and Malga in that last map was they were actually banned by each side. So things we still got some things to figure out before we head to map number 2 here.
Exactly. So some of our options when it comes down to those escorts, we're going to be getting either Circuit Royale, Junkertown, Route 66, or Watchpoint Gibraltar. So all 4 of those maps are going to be available. However, I'm going to imagine Hollidaysburg, if they're going to pick any of them, you're going to really be looking towards that Junkertown or that Route 66. Don't see the Circuit Royale getting picked, as it really requires that domination through long sight lines, and it didn't really seem like the Hollidaysburg DPS players were really looking to take that type of angle. Instead, they were trying to play more of those flex DPS characters that can get up into their opponent's face and try to find dominance in that way. Now, going on to something like that Watchpoint Gibraltar, it's a similar situation, however, going to be towards the tanks, as we saw them really liking to opt into that Zarya, into that Reinhardt, and into that Ramatra. Those were the 3 tanks we saw, and that lack of mobility was something that they kind of had a little bit of an issue with. If you take onto a map like Route 66 or like Junkertown, that becomes a little bit less of a problem, rather than something like that Watchpoint Gibraltar, where both that first, second, and third point all become a threat. That you really should have somebody who's comfortable on that Winston, somebody who's comfortable on that Wrecking Ball, or that Diva. Those are the 3 characters we'd like to see on those maps. So unless they're going to try and opt into that, I don't see them locking in that Watchpoint Gibraltar.
We'll have to wait and see. It looks like we've at least got a map pick, as we're going to be off to Shambali Monastery. So we still got to go through side picks and hero picks. So how about this, chat? While they get all that figured out going on in the background, how about we take ourselves a quick break? Grab yourselves a quick snack. Grab yourself a quick drink of water. On the other side, we're off to map number 2. Remember, over here at PIEA, it's best of 3s. So right now it's going to be now or never if you want to turn things around here for Hollidaysburg area. So we'll be back with Shambali Monastery here in just a couple minutes. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.